choose your sword. Do you want to be physically, like, I want to be the protector of the family, right? That requires strength. I can't be a fat slob, out of breath, you know,
who can't pick us up and carry us.
Yeah. It's just like, if a meth head comes over and tries to rob us, like, I need to be able to fight and protect my family, something like that, right? And in today's world, what?
Why does it have to be a meth head?
Because it happens all the time.
That's very specific.
Usually the people that you see, like, I watch a lot of like security videos and stuff, on YouTube and stuff, and a lot of them are drug people that are on drugs, that are on opiates or whatever it is.
It's just very specific. I was just
curious.
Yeah,
like that's, and so that popped into my head. But whatever drug, pick your drug of choice. Whatever drug you're on that puts you in that mindset that you feel like you have to rob somebody to get by with your day.
Got it.
Right? If that were the case.
I was just curious, that's all.
Like, I need to be able to fight and protect my family. Like, it's my wife's job to protect the kids. It's my job to protect all of them. That's kind of how I look at it. What's up, Fit Friends? Nick and Whitney back here. Today we want to talk about freedom. It's one of our core values here in our life and also at the gym. Okay, freedom, family, faith, and fun. If you tuned in last week, we talked a little bit about our faith and kind of how we feel. And then today we're going to talk about freedom. The way that we define freedom is the ability to do what we want, when we want to, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially.
And physically.
Fact check. First thing is freedom's not free, right? We do workouts in here called hero workouts. And I think tomorrow we're actually doing one for Chad. And the price that freedom takes is sacrifice, right? Some people pay the ultimate sacrifice for that freedom. In the military, in our law enforcement, in our first responders, all that sort of stuff. So first things first, being appreciative of that. Freedom does take sacrifice. That is kind of our ultimate goal, and I think it takes a lot of work and sacrifice and stuff to be there. And not even gonna lie, today I've been kind of down on myself and felt kind of defeated just in life about it, right? We've owned CFC now for, we just had, 4 years? Just had our 4-year, bought it in 2020, so September 30th, 2020 was the closing date, so just over 4 years. We've busted our butt to get it to where it is today, and I think we get so engrossed in the daily grind of things that me in particular tend to lose perspective as to how much we've grown. When you buy any business, I think, especially if it's a brick and mortar, like, there's a lot of overhead and things that come with that. And I think we get so drawn in, especially in the past 5 to 10 years of social media, that it's all sunshine and rainbows and like it's easy, right? Because again, we've mentioned in the other, podcast too, that we see the highlight reel of everybody else's life on social media, right? There's not a lot of people that are showing the days of doubt, the days of loss, the hard things that you deal with when it comes to business life. And it is hard. I hope everybody gets to experience it some, because it would relate. I think it would make people a lot more relatable to other people, and I think if you walked a mile in those shoes, it would kind of give you some perspective for sure. And I think everybody sees a business owner and they think, oh man, I want to do that, not realizing everything that comes with it. And I think we kind of fell into that category too. And sometimes we fall into that trap of thinking that it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows, and then when it's not, we get down on ourselves. And that's just kind of one of those days that I'm having. So just to kind of throw that out there. Now, obviously, freedom, all the different facets that we talk about, right? Freedom is not just business-wise or financial-wise or anything like that. I know for me, it's been a decade of physical freedom that I've also been striving for, right? And I think that this whole core value is a work in progress, just like anything in the gym, right? We do these things, we have these goals in mind, and then as time goes on, we chip away a little bit at a time, and we get so drawn into it, and then we look back a year from now, and we're like, holy crap, I just grew my squat by 100 pounds, or whatever it is, right? So for me, the physical aspect of freedom has always been to be able to do what I want when I want, right? When I was 270 pounds and I was crawling around with Malachi at 10 months or a year or whatever he was, and I couldn't keep up with him, like, that was unacceptable. So it's been a constant journey since then to try and be my kids' superheroes. Hero, because I'm singular, one guy. Their superhero. You're welcome.
You're special.
You're welcome. So, doing the things that we do so that we can do the things in life that matter, right? Some people get so wrapped up in the competitive mindset when they come in here too, that they lose perspective as to why we do what we do. When we come into the gym, it is not necessarily to PR lift, although that happens, and it's awesome when it does happen. We come in here to be able to play with our kids, to be able to play with our grandkids, to be able to take our luggage out of the overhead bin on the airplane by ourselves and not have to get help, to rehab injuries so that we don't have to deal with those injuries in the future. To be able to be their caretaker and the strong person in the family that people can lean on to help with things, right? But we get so, again, wrapped up in that competitive nature of CrossFit, or at least in our case, CrossFit, that we lose that perspective. Anything to add to that?
I think we were at some point, it was RX or bust, right? Like, if you didn't put RX next to your name on the board or in Wodify or whatever system you're using, it was like, what? You didn't RX the workout? Why? What's wrong? What's going on with you today?
Right.
And I don't know if that was outside pressure, our own pressure, the way previous gyms were. I know for me, I have taken a step back in that I really just go with how I feel. in that day, because I know that especially as a woman who has trouble sleeping, who has hormones, who has a toddler who sometimes doesn't sleep through the night, like my goal now is to stay healthy and be able to get up and down off the ground not in pain. Like it would used to be, if you weren't so sore that you couldn't move, you weren't doing it right. And that's not what I want anymore.
Right.
We try to give you guys the best hour of your day in a workout here. But that also means we want you to be able to go and enjoy the other 23 hours without being in a crap ton of pain. Like, yes, you're going to be sore, but it shouldn't be debilitating.
Well, you're always going to be sore.
Yeah.
So I tell people in foundations, like...
You got stuff in your beard. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I groom him a lot.
Just like a cat. I tell people in foundations all the time, like, you get to pick your sore, right? Yeah. You're going to be sore, whether you're sitting at a desk, sitting down all day, hunched over at a keyboard, or if you come in here and you work hard to get your body stronger, you're going to be sore either way. So whether you stick with that stiffness or come in and work hard, pick your sore, right? And we always have that choice, and I think sometimes we lose perspective about that. And today may be one of those days for me. I don't know, but I'll work through it. But yeah, I mean, choose your sore. Do you want to be physically, like, I want to be the protector of the family, right? That requires strength. I can't be a fat slob, out of breath,
who can't pick us up and carry us.
Yeah. It's just like if a meth head comes over and tries to rob us, like, I need to be able to fight and protect my family, something like that, right? And in today's world, what?
Why does it have to be a meth head?
Because it happens all the time.
That's very specific.
it usually the people that you see, like, I watch a lot of like security videos and stuff, on YouTube and stuff, and it a lot of them are drug people that are on drugs, that are on opiates or whatever it is.
It's just very specific. I was just
curious.
Yeah,
like that's and so that popped into my head. But whatever drug, pick your drug of choice. Whatever drug you're on that puts you in that mindset that you feel like you have to rob somebody to get by with your day.
Got it.
Right? If that were the case.
I was just curious, that's all.
Like, I need to be able to fight and protect my family. Like, it's my wife's job to protect the kids. It's my job to protect all of them. That's kind of how I look at it.
Good thing I can run with Gabriel. I can't run with Malachi, though.
No, Malachi can run himself. But anyways, like, that's kind of the thing, right? And if I'm not strong enough to be able to do that, then what kind of a man am I? And that's just the standard that I hold myself to. That doesn't have to be the standard that anybody else holds them to, right? But for me, I need to be getting better and better because the world is always adapting and changing, and I need to adapt and change with it. So that's just kind of my mentality, right? Or less violent. We're out shopping or something like that. Like, I need to be able to carry the things, right? If I can't carry the things, if I can't help my wife pick up and move stuff, like, that's not acceptable in my eyes as a man. And that's just something that has evolved over the past decade since I've been doing this, and life be lifing. And
let's just say the number of things that I have to pick up and carry with him is a lot. And there are just some things where I'm like, you need to find a dude to help you with this.
Right.
But I'm still able to do a lot of the stuff, even though I don't want to.
Right. And
I cannot, in fact, roll him up in a rug and carry him out.
She cannot.
Nope.
We've tried. She cannot.
To be fair, he was not wrapped up in the rug, but that rug was so heavy.
It was very heavy. That was a day. Yeah. So, physical freedom, right? Do you have the physical freedom to be able to do whatever you want to do physically? In my mind, there's really not anything that would be practical of me to do that I cannot do. There's things that are very impractical, me being a guy that can be immature sometimes, like, I don't know, things that my 35-year-old body can't handle anymore, like flipping off of boxes and all that sort of stuff. Could probably still do it, but I might, throw out a back or something because I'm old. But like anything that would be practical of me to do, I can do. And I think Whitney can do the same, very similar stuff. Because regardless of what the world may say, boys and girls are different. Okay? So, anyways, physical freedom. Okay, moving on. I think emotional and mental freedom. I think that goes a lot hand in hand kind of with the faith that we talked about last week, right? Today, apparently, I'm an emotional midget, and that is okay. We've all got our good days and our bad days, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think it also goes hand in hand with like financial freedom and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. They're kind of all intertwined, right? For me, one of the biggest things is not wanting to be in control, and I feel like today that's where you are, is that you're trying to control and guide where we're going, and I've been better about kind of taking a step back and God, show me, right? Give me the freedom or the wisdom, the knowledge to see where you're guiding us and to be aware of that. And I think emotionally and mentally that helps me, right? Have that freedom of like, okay, I can't control what happens to us. We've been given that test over and over again, right? Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, like, God doesn't give you, like, you're not put in the same situation over and over again until you've learned what you're supposed to learn from it, if that makes sense. Like, we don't have a lot of the freedoms that we want. Owning a business, being Anna's caregiver, like, we're not able to just up and go like we would like to. And that's out, that right now that's out of our control. Right?
Yeah.
And I think mentally and emotionally that takes a hit every now and again.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Again, like, it's hard. Put in so much work and the grind of day to day and the grind of life to not be able to enjoy any of it. And it seems like it's been a long season of not really being able to enjoy any part of life, right? I don't think life is meant to just wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. I don't think that's what it is.
I also don't think it's fair, though, for you to say that we have not enjoyed any of it. And that might be just you today, because we have enjoyed a lot of it.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, stepping away to enjoy it. For the most part, day to day, I enjoy what we do. I enjoy being around our members. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy the adventure of life, right? And I think building a life that is so enjoyable for us that we don't really want to get away from it. That's what I would like, and that is not where we're at yet.
Yeah.
Because occasionally I do want to get away. I want to be able to go
Yeah, same.
for a weekend with us and the kids, or even just us. Like, I would love to be able to take a week and go to Bora Bora, Fiji with you. Maybe actually take a honeymoon. That'd be great.
We have to get passports.
Oh, fuck. Shoot.
We can go to Hawaii, though. That doesn't require a passport.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Clearly, we're on the same page.
We can go to Hawaii, but wherever we decide to go. Like, I would like to be able to go do some stuff like that, and we're just not at a place where we can. And I think just emotionally and mentally today, it's taken its toll on me. And whatever. It's probably the devil just, planting his seeds, because he's a punk.
And to be fair, like, I've been there. This is not easy. I do a lot of the back office and admin stuff, and I see the messages, and I'm on the social media, and not everyone is supportive and loving. And I get a lot of the mean messages, and I try not to take it personally, but I'm very empathetic, so I do.
I think it's hard not to take it personally when we put everything into everything that we do.
Yeah.
And, again, imperfect humans, but I think it's pretty hard. It'd be a pretty hard argument to say that we don't care and that we don't do our best.
Well, I think that owning CFC has made it easier for me to be sympathetic and empathetic to other business owners or other people. Like, I know, right, you call an 800 number, you get press 1, do this, do that, and you're just like, I just want to talk to a customer service representative, right? And like, it gets so frustrating. And then when the person that's on the phone can't help you, sometimes we take that out on the person. And I've been much more aware of, like, I know this is not your fault, and I'm sorry, I'm very frustrated. It's not with you, because I've been on the other side of it, right? Like, we're not always going to have perfect days. We're not always going to respond the way that we think we should, or that other people think we should. We're going to have emotional days, and sometimes some of those responses are emotional, not, let me take a step back and think logically. So I think that's helped me. But yeah, I think the emotional and mental side of it plays so much into all of it, physical, financially, spiritually. I have felt more freedom spiritually lately than I have probably in a long time. I used to be very conscious of what I was posting about faith and what we believed in it and what we talked about. I guess the best way to say it is in fear of, like, how it would be taken. But that's who we are and what we represent, and what, like, it doesn't have to be spiritual in the sense of God, but that's one of our leading beliefs.
Yeah.
And how can I be a leader in that if I'm afraid to talk about it or post about it? So I definitely have become more comfortable in that, and just have a freedom of, like, I want to share that. And my hope is you guys get all of that too from us. We're definitely imperfect, but we strive to have that as our leading foundation.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I have not been reading my Bible nearly enough lately. So that's part of the thing spiritually, probably for me too, is, because I haven't been reading my Bible, it gives, the devil more of an opportunity to sink his claws into me.
And I've been actually reading Romans, which is a lot about faith, and that's probably what's helped me the opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you have to have your mental, emotional, and spiritual, whether it be, the Bible or whatever it is, like you have to have your moral, spiritual kind of guidelines that you live your life by, right? So, I mean, it doesn't have to be godly, but I think everybody knows kind of right from wrong and what those moral ground rules are. And living your life by that code, I think, is the way to go, for sure. And over time, solidifying that for you and kind of what you believe in. I think you can talk a good game about that sort of stuff, but unless you're living it out and showing those actions, God says faith without works is dead, right? So you can have all the faith in the world, but if you're not taking action and actually doing that stuff, then like, what are you doing? Like, it's all for nothing, pretty much, and that's something that's kind of stood out to me just a lot, is that faith without works is dead. But then, I don't know, maybe I've been working so much and not having the faith part of it that I'm struggling with today. I don't know. Financial. Financial freedom. What does that look like for you? Do you know what that looks like? Do you have a budget? Do you have financial goals? I think a lot of people say a lot of things about money, but then their credit card or debit card shows otherwise, right? Like, a lot of people say, oh, I want to be able to retire. I want to be able to be a millionaire. I want to be able to do this or that. And it's like, okay, well, you're not doing that according to your actions. You say you want to go on this vacation, but you're spending $7 a day at Starbucks getting a peppermint mocha or whatever.
I don't do that a day. Okay? I've done it once this week.
That's fine. I wasn't pointing fingers.
Felt very judged right there.
That was the first thing that popped into my head. This is family friendly, so
So judgy.
Next time I'll just say mocha choca bullshit. Okay. So do you have those financial goals?
I think that's one of the things that we did well before buying the gym, is that we made sure our debt was paid off. Cars, Gabriel's birth, that was pretty traumatic for both of us.
Yeah. It's nothing like experiencing an emergency C-section and then getting $13,000 of bills immediately after. It's great. But as an example, that would have been way worse had we not had the money to just pay it off outright, and we had to put it on like a payment plan that we paid off for the next 5 years because we're done with our money.
We own our baby.
Right.
I think that's definitely something we did very, very well. We went through the Dave Ramsey steps, baby steps. Unfortunately, we still have one debt outstanding with our trailer. It was supposed to be big grand plan was to live in it, and that was going to be like our mortgage, our house payment. And it just didn't work out the way that we wanted it to. We hoped that it would. I think in our heads it looked differently than it was. And then when Nick's mom passed, it just wasn't in the cards. We just can't. So
now
it's
it
just
sits out back of the gym.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to buy an RV,
it's basically brand new.
It's never been pooped in. Never been showered in.
They didn't. Brad and Emma's guest didn't poop in it, did they?
No, it's all winterized and all that.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So it's in great shape. It's been maintained at an RV dealership. So if you guys want an RV, yeah,
it's great. There was nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't for our family. And
again,
what we
life be lifing.
Yeah. So that's kind of the one outstanding thing. And then of course, financially with the gym, the main goal when we bought it obviously was for this to be our main income. And we haven't been able to do that. I mean, full disclosure, we are taking a paycheck, which is nice now.
A very little paycheck.
But, you know, financially, like, we want to help, obviously, ourselves, because, right, when they say, like, in an emergency, help yourself first, because if you pass out, you can't help other people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the same financially. Like, we want to be able to help ourselves, but we also want to, we have so many things that we want to do to help others and to be able to give more and do more. And unfortunately, that requires money. Right? Like, we can give of our time, and we do when we can, but we also have so little time freedom. And, you know, that was the other thing with buying the gym, is like, well, we're going to have so much time freedom because we own our own business, but we are here pretty much every day, which is it's not a bad thing. Don't get us wrong. But we definitely thought that we would have more time. Like, we literally have to schedule everything into our day, or it doesn't happen, including workouts. So it just becomes one of those, I think that's part of his feelings today, is like, where do we have that freedom? Like, where are we able to go and do the things that we want to do? And I mean, even just grocery shop, like, we have to plan our grocery shopping trip. And I know for most people you do that, but like, if we don't, then it kind of, at the end of the week,
doesn't happen. We're like, oh crap, we're running out of food.
We haven't gone grocery shopping. Oh no. So our Saturday night date night this week is going grocery shopping.
We're literally leaving here and going grocery shopping.
Whoop, whoop. I know you're jealous. But that's part of the big thing for us, right, is having that freedom across the board and what that looks like for us. And then being able to help other people, right? Like, we have this Dave Ramsey book back here, the financial, Entre Leadership, but what's the actual book?
The Baby Steps.
Ramsey Solutions or something like that.
You're talking about the Baby Steps?
Yeah, the book that we
Total Money Makeover.
Total Money Makeover.
I gave away the last copy recently.
Yeah, so we bought copies. We give them away for people who have talked to us about struggling with money, because I mean, like, we were at that place, like, how we made X amount of money, and it was like, why do we have nothing extra? Like, where is it all going? We don't have credit cards. We use everything debit or cash.
Everything, yeah.
I think I have an emergency credit card that I don't even have the actual card, but if we needed it, we could get it, I think.
Really?
I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think
I thought we got rid of them all.
We might have.
I think we closed them all down. I don't think we have any credit cards. We have not used a credit card. Even if we do have a credit card, we have not used that credit card in
maybe we did initially
3 years, probably.
Maybe we initially, like, kept it open just in case.
Maybe
because we had, like, that fear.
Maybe.
But
yeah, now, like, we don't.
We can't do it.
We wait. We save for it. Like, the bathroom remodel that we're saving for right now, it's going to take about $15,000 or $20,000, and so we're saving up cash to do that, and we'll pay cash. We'll buy the stuff along the way. Like, hey, like, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's not so. We try not to let things get so dire.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we absolutely needed to, we can always get a loan. Like, everything's on credit nowadays. I mean, I can freaking buy a tent for like $34 a month on Credova or whatever. It's just like, what are we doing? Like,
I don't know. I think it's
wild.
I think there are a lot of facets to freedom that people don't really think about. Like, we think, like, this week with Veterans Day, when Memorial Day comes around, I guess Labor Day is not really one, but the sacrifice that so many people have given, right? The ultimate sacrifice, so we can have that freedom. But that's like the bigger like spectrum of it, and then really diving down into
Well, I also think like
our beliefs and what that looks like for us. But then thinking about it, like, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, I think people say that, like, I love, thank you for what you do. We have freedom, but a lot of people really don't have freedom. We're still chained to things, and I think us included. Like, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We want to be.
Yeah.
We're working toward it, but just because we're in the United States, yeah, we're freer than most.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We're free and we have the opportunity, but it's hard and takes a lot of work to get there, and it takes decisive work and disciplined work.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right. And so fighting for that, having those goals in mind, and hopefully, God willing, we don't ever have to physically fight for our freedom, right? But be prepared for that if it does ever come.
Yeah. I think whoever created the 5-day work week and 2-day weekend, we should find them. I feel like that's the hard part, is like, we as kids we're like, oh, we want to be adults, like we can do whatever we want, and then you grow up and you're like, oh cool, I have to work 5 days a week, sometimes more, and you have 2 short days off, but then like all the stuff that you can't do during the week because you're working, you have to do in those 2 days off, and then you're just like, oh, it's Sunday night already and the week starts again tomorrow. Okay. And I think that's where both of us struggle right now, is that it's just on repeat. It's like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
And so we try to make it, like Faith RX this Friday, like we try to do different things, the Fall Spooky Classic, change it up. So it's not always the same, but for the most part, like our schedule during the week is the same. So I mean, it's freedom. I get to I have my own say in what I do and when I do it, for the most part, other than coaching. I don't have to answer to anybody else as a boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I ask your opinion and stuff, but really, I'm the boss.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give it to you. I'm not in the mood to fight.
And that's because he knows it's true.
Yeah. So I think this, this podcast is a little bit different. I think, do you have anything else?
No. Mm-mm.
I think on this one, and again today, just kind of where my mind's at, I think we're kind of just talking through some stuff. I mean, we have our beliefs, for sure, but the freedom is definitely a hard one, because there is so many facets to freedom and to finding your freedom, and everybody, I think, is going to have a little bit different idea of what freedom is.
Yeah.
Right? And I think with us and the ambition, or at least with me and the ambition that I have, I don't feel free, although we're trying to work toward it every day. And so yeah, I'm struggling with that a little bit today, but
that's the thing. Like, we always just want to be real with you guys. Like, it isn't always sunshine and rainbows. I think
it's not.
And I think going into this month, first Thanksgiving, first birthday for Malachi, and going into like this season is hard.
Yeah. This will be 1 year.
Yeah.
We've got a couple weeks. It'll be 1 year of my mom's passing. And so, yeah, working through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? This is a short one for you guys. It's not an hour and a half. So.
I didn't cry.
Yes.
Winning.
No emotional warning. No trigger warning.
I think it's the first one I haven't cried on.
Yet.
I'm not, being a woman, my hormones are different right now, so I'm good.
All right,
I'm
guys.
hormonally free.
All right, guys. So with that being said, again, we're always trying to be open and transparent with you. This one was on the schedule today. We started a different sort of talk and podcast, but I wasn't coming off the way that I think we meant it or wanted it to. So, this is what you're getting. But we wanted to work through that with you guys. If you have any questions, any comments, prayers, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you liked it, definitely give it a like, subscribe. If you have anything to add, any thoughts about this subject at all, definitely comment down below so we can talk about it, work through it a little bit more with you guys. I'd love to hear your opinion about everything that we said. You have anything else?
I do not.
So I think that's it, guys. If you like it, share this with a friend. All right? Stay fit, stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.